In this lesson we are going to work with the RichEdit component. The RichEdit component is under the Win32 tab. Let's click on it over there, and it is represented by this icon over here. Click on it and add it onto the screen by dragging it as large as you would like it to appear. Let's also change the name of this RichEdit component according to our convention. The name for a RichEdit is always RED for RichEdit, and let's call this RichEdit out. I need an event handler, so let's go to the Standard tab and add a button, and once again I'm going to change its size and shape so that it fits nicely onto the screen, and its name, by now you know that the convention is BTN, and let's call it BTN run. And I might as well change its caption to run the program and an exclamation mark. Press enter. It's a good thing to save your program early, so let's go to save all. I have created a folder called RichOut, and I suggest you always create new folders for each program that you are going to create. Double click on it and save our unit according to convention. Let's call this one rich output underscore U for the unit and rich output underscore P for the project. Let's take a closer look at the RichEdit component. In my object inspector, there are a number of properties that I can change before my program is run. For instance, the font property has a little plus next to it, and you can see that there is the name property of the font. And if I click on this Tahoma at the moment, a drop-down box appears, and there we have the names of all the different fonts that are available. For example, there's Times New Roman. Arial is available as well. So to make changes to my RichEdit component before runtime, in other words before the program is executed, I would do it here in the Object Inspector. However, during runtime, I need to write code, which I'm going to put in my event handler, in this case the button, and let's do a few examples of changes I can make to the RichEdit during runtime. Let's start with two spaces, readout.lines.add. There it is. I'm pressing enter, and use a single inverted comma to add some text that will be displayed. So let's say this is the first line. Inverted comma and end it with a semicolon. Readout.lines.add, and let's make this is the second line and end it with a semicolon. Finally, we can add a line that will print onto our printer. This is a line that will be printed. When you run your program, do this. Print one line and see what it does on your printer. However, I want this to be a comment because it will merely print out one line on the printer, and I think that's a waste of paper, but you should do it at least once to see what happens. So to turn this into a comment, I put 2 forward slashes right at the beginning. Notice our Delphi IDE changes the text to green now, so this is a visual indication that we are busy with a comment. Let's get to the end of the line and press enter, and perhaps this is a good time to save our program again and then run it. There we go, run the program. There we have it. This is our first line, and this is our second line of code. Close it and go back to our programming window in the event handler. We can of course clear the text that used to be there. Let's go right up to the top, type in readout.lines.clear. At the moment it contains the words read out. During runtime we can make some changes to the way our text is displayed in our RichEdit component. So here are a few examples. Readout.cell attributes, and this is not a property that appears in the Object Inspector. Cell attributes.style colon equals fs bold, and these must be in square brackets. And the next one, readout.cell attributes.size, and let's make this large, let's say 16. Readout.cell attributes.names, and this would be the font name colon equals, and we saw that Times New Roman is a valid font. Let's add a few lines again. Readout.lines.add. These lines have been added. Let's run our program. Click on the button. The code that we've entered into the programming window has now had an effect on the way the text has been displayed. The last thing I want us to do is to read some text from a word processor. So stop your program from running and go to your word processor and type a number of lines of text, put some formatting in them, and then let's pull them into the RichEdit. I have done this already, and I will show you what this looks like now. The file I'm going to open in Word is called the gift, and there it is already, the gift, and it's .rtf, rich text format. So when you create your rich text format, or when you create your document in, for instance, MS Word, remember to save it as a rich text format document. Let me open it, and here it is. You can see there's a little bit of formatting at the top. I'm going to close it again. It is in the same directory as my Delphi program is saved. Now, lines of code that I need to add in order to load this document is readout.lines.load from file, and there it is. I only need to press enter, and the name of the file is single inverted commas the underscore gift.richTextFormat.rtf and single inverted comma. Let's run my program. Click on the button, and there I have the Rabbi's Gift by Scott Peck, or the version by Scott Peck. And if you press the down arrow, we can get through all the text in our document.